Man, I can't believe it. I come back with part three because I really didn't tell you about the rest of Felix Satter's business or about the brothers in Azerbaijan. And I feel like I should lay out the whole case, man. Because there's so many layers and so much of it. And it's right there in front of you. Like I said, I know I was talking about not coming back, but what the hell, I'm going to come back one more time. Is that all right? I think it is. Smash it, right? Thank you. I'm making no call. I put that down in front. I started to build that wall and walk away. Shit. I might get a check. Calm down, folks. Calm down. Anyway, back to it as the city audience slows the road. Calm down, thank you, people. Anyway, like I said, you got to know about. I'm looking for the names because I want to be factually right. So, because I know you little fuckers, y'all won't research nothing unless it's something to try to debunk something I say. Then all of a sudden y'all turn into bookworms, become researchers, man. You know what I mean? That's about the only time I get my conservative buddies to actually read something is when they're trying to bust out anything I post or any facts I post. But no, like I said, before I post something, I'm looking that shit up, man. Come on, man. 30 seconds, just a little extra, just a little, don't take that much extra. Shit. Anyway, back to it. Let me go to it. See, it's Trump Tower in Baku. Trump Tower, Baku, Azerbaijan. It's hard to say when you have cotton mouth and stone.
According to Wikipedia, Trump International Hotel in Tower Baku is an unfinished 33-floor hotel and condominium tower located in the Nasimi district in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Right, you heard Google say that. That wasn't me saying it, folks. Let me tell you about this little sweetness here. Okay. Now here's the deal. Here's how Trump tried to say he's not that tight with these cats. Right? And I'm gonna give you another little law lesson here for those who don't know. Whenever you do business abroad in another country and you're an American, they have bribery laws and corruption laws that you have to, you know what I mean, that you have to abide by, even foreign. And one of those is who you go into business with. If you go into business with somebody in a foreign country and a foreigner, and you're supposed to do your due diligence, your own research, and investigate your partners and know what they're all about. Because if they do something illegal, even though you didn't know nothing about it, you're guilty of it too. It consists of if they use any part of your business venture to conduct that illegal business or commit that crime. So this is where Trump gets jammed up on these cats. And then I'll get back how he broke laws when he got loans for banks in America, when he had Felix Sater working for him, a convicted felon, and Trump would sign these notes and agreements saying that everybody that worked for him were ethical, decent, legitimate business people who weren't criminals. And he would lie. And Trump knowingly lied on these loan applications, knowing that Felix Sater was a Russian mobster and a convicted fraudster, right? Because birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? Trump's a fraudster. You know what I'm saying? He craves attention. I guess his daddy didn't hug him and his mama didn't kiss him. He craves attention and loves so much. He's so insecure to be somebody. That's the paradox. You know what I mean? Of Trump is that he's so arrogant and narcissistic, but at the same time he's so insecure. You know what I mean? Which is usually, you don't see those two to that extreme in one person like him. That's why you know he's going to have some type of chemical imbalance or personality disorder. But back to it. So there, I just give you another example of how he broke the law. With Felix Sater lied on loan applications. It's well known. Trump knew. Trump also claimed that the dude who bankrolled Sater also got him the money to bankroll that flop of a Trump real estate called Trump Soho. Well, that shit's a flop. And the Russian mob money backed that, and the crook who backed that shit, the big Russian mobster billionaire, I forget his name, he backed it. You can look it up. He might be an arms dealer too. I don't know. But anyway, he's big buddies with Sater. When Trump went on a deposition, lied. I forget how many times he lied, but Trump said he didn't know him. Then they produced all these pictures where he's hugging Sater, hugging all these folks. They produced business cards with Sater's name and the Trump organization on them and all this other shit. So that's what I'm saying. It's been going on forever. That's why I still can't believe this dude got elected. That's why you know something. It was the greatest upset in political history with the most flawed candidate with more dirt and more not only dirt but scandal, conflicts of interest, laws. You can say the laws that he's broken, right? Right, he done, and it's not, and I used to have a theory that Trump was a plant for here's my little crazy theory I used to have before the election, that Trump was a plant by the liberals since he used to be a Democrat to ruin the Republican Party forever, destroy it. And right now, I can't say my theory's bullshit, because at this point, he is running the name of the Republican Party. They are going to get destroyed these next elections. He's not only that, he's ruined the reputation of America. But back to it, like I said, we'll go to the Trump Tower. Like I said, the Soho shit was a flop. Trump's proven to lie on the loan documents to get money. So, like I said, there's some more criminality with the Trump organization at the very top. Now you just heard Google tell you about Baku, Azerbaijan, the Trump Tower, Trump International Hotel and Tower, that's unfinished. Now let me tell you, here's why it's crazy. Why you say unfinished? Well, maybe they're still working on it. Well, they started this motherfucker. Excuse my language, I forgot. Oh, I can cuss. Sorry for your opinion. They started it in 2008. Right, 10 years ago. It was supposed to be done years ago. Right, but it's just a big scam to launder money in. Right, and they co-mingled their money with this is no conspiracy. They're all connected to the Revolutionary Guard from Iran. The two brothers who's in business with Trump. One of them used to be the transportation secretary, and I'm just going to tell you their names. The shit's easily, man, you can look it up. But Trump tried to distance himself from him by saying they just licensed his name. Because for most people that are fans of Trump don't know, Trump has, I forget, 50, 70 buildings with his name on them. But only like 5 to 7 of them, or somewhere around in there, are actually his. I think 7. The rest of them, they just put his name on there and they give him a license fee. Because that's where he makes most of his money, is licensing. Calm down. His license. Shit, I can't even say it, man. Lay off the herb, dude. It's by licensing. There we go. His name, man. His brand. You know what I mean? That's where he makes all his money, is his brand. It ain't his genius business economics or genius business IQ or his great mind for economics or business. It's because that he pumps up his little brand. You know what I mean? And people who don't know what real luxury is consider Trump's brand luxury. Trump's, like I had a highly intelligent and highly educated friend of mine say, Trump is the poor man's genius, and Trump is also the poor man's version of luxury. You know what I mean? But on the billionaire level, everybody else looks at Trump like white trash, like dude straight out the trailer park. But let's get back to the Baku Tower. Now Trump, man, look, this thing was supposed to be open in 2015. Trump got down in 2015, right? Construction was delayed in 2015. The project remained unfinished. But here's the history, and what's so crazy about this place. Look, if you think I'm making it up about Trump being tight with it, well, here's the deal on Trump. Trump said he licensed his name to it, but Trump also holds the contract to manage the hotel and tower and the apartments and what all the bullshit it is. But people there said that they got the interior design, all the minute details strictly from the top, that Trump's people would call them every day and make sure they do this, this, and this. And monthly people would fly in, head executives fly to make sure they're doing it just by Trump's, exactly the way Trump wants it. Or Ivanka, because Ivanka went there right? She posted pictures on Instagram while she was staying there. But here's the kicker: the place ain't finished. They built this luxury tower, condominiums, in the poorest part of Baku, the most dangerous poor part. Here's where it gets crazy. This is just one of Donald Trump's many sketchy financial entanglements. This is the latest. And I can't believe this ain't blown up in the news yet. I think Matt Taibbi or from Rolling Stone or somebody else turned me on to this money laundering scam, basically what it is. But look, here it is. Where's the brother's name? The brothers, the Mammadov brothers, right? Elton Mammadov and his brother Zaya Mammadov, who was the transportation minister of Azerbaijan. This dude went from making $12,000 a year as a transportation minister to becoming a billionaire, right? In just a handful of years. Here's the deal on these cats. These cats, as soon as they become the transportation minister of Azerbaijan, your boy Zia Mammadov, the Mammadov brothers. Oh, by the way, quick side note, the Mammadov brothers are so corrupt and famous for it, they got a nickname. They're called the Corleones of the Caspian, like the Corleone family from The Godfather. That's how gangster they are. The Corleones of the Caspian. Don't believe me? Google it. Anyway, Zaya Mammadov, Anwar Mammadov, so all three of Mammadov brothers. But anyway, he's a transportation minister, right? When he became a transportation minister, he ordered billions of dollars in new highways, interstate systems in Azerbaijan. And an American company, here's the first sign of corruption with this cat. When an American company put a bid in, they rejected it and said it was too much. I forget how much it was. But his brother's company, a company his brother fronted for the Revolutionary Guard, that's like a front company, a business arm, a revenue stream for the Iranian Republican Guard, who bankrolls all these fucking terrorists like Hezbollah and all this other shit, right? Iranians, Revolutionary Guard, right? The elite cats in Iran, right? So he fronted this company for what was the name of the company? It's a construction company. But anyway, they paid those cats 10 times more than the Americans bid to build all these highways. Then this dude becomes a billionaire. Then they get in with Trump. Him and his brother are known members of the Revolutionary Guard. All three brothers, they're known members of the Revolutionary Guard. Like I said, his brother fronted this company. They're Trump's main business partners on Trump Tower International in Baku, Azerbaijan. Ivanka Trump went there, even though Trump says he barely knows anything about it. People say that it's so corrupt. Oh, I forgot. So here's what's hilarious. You can go read this anywhere. After they built all these billions of dollars of interstates and highways, when they built this tower, like I said, this luxury tower, condominiums, in the poorest, most dangerous part of town, away from the middle of town, where everything else was, the business section, all the other hotels, all the shit to see and do in Baku, right, is in the middle of town. When they built this thing away from the middle of town, in the hood, you know what I mean? In the roughest part of town, poorest part of town, which nobody knew why. Then after they built all these freeway systems and new highways, they built them around this tower, but somehow they say you can't get to this tower no matter what exit you take or highway or road you take around this thing, that none of these new roads will lead you directly to this hotel. That it's confusing as hell. It's a maze that local cab drivers can't even figure it out. Look, you can go read this shit anywhere online when I'm telling you, man. I'm paraphrasing off the top of my head, but I've read about it extensively, like I said. Anyway, and I am trying to remember the names because it ain't like I'm going to remember Zaya Mammadov. Come on, man. I can only do so much. You know what I mean? Shit. I've been kicking these brain cells in the teeth for a few decades. You know what I mean? They ain't what they used to be. Anyway, right. Let's see. The project construction wing, it was handled by Garrett Holdings, which Anwar Mammadov was the founder and shareholder of. So it's Elton Mammadov. But the project was also owned by Baku 21st Century, a company founded by Elton Mammadov, who is a member of parliament, and his brother is the transportation minister, like I said, Zaya Mammadov. Anwar Mammadov, Zaya's son, the transportation minister's son, is also involved with the company in the Trump project because he handles the construction to a company called Garrett Holdings, of which Anwar Mammadov, Zaya's son, Elton's nephew, was the founder and a major shareholder, the majority shareholder, right? They just showed up 2011, told everybody that lived in the neighborhood they're getting fucking evicted. You got to get the hell out of your house. They said one resident, 30 families were evicted. One resident got $18,000 and kicked out of a house that was worth 5 times that amount. She sued the government and lost. Trump shows up in 2012, signed multiple contracts with Elton and Anwar Mammadov, planned to renovate the tower to ultra quote-unquote luxury property. Trump also licensed the name, like I just said. And like I said, he also signed a contract, which I just read about, to manage the property. Let's see, which will be named the Trump International Hotel and Tower in Baku. The first 13 floors will feature hotel rooms, while the remaining floors of the 33-story tower would be used for condominiums. The hotel was managed by Trump's company. See, old Dad remembers. Trump's daughter, Ivanka, oversaw the overall development. Well, man, let's see. Right. Anyway, it says what I've already told you. That Trump was intricately involved in this shit. That he was giving all the orders. She was giving all the marching orders to these cats of what Trump wanted, the renovation and all this other shit. But here's where it becomes illegal. You're like, well, so Trump was in business with some shady Iranian terrorist type assholes, corrupt ass Azerbaijanis. You know what I mean? What does that have to do with breaking laws of being illegal? What it has to do with breaking laws of being illegal is that thing's never been finished because all they've done it, used it for basically, is to use it to launder money. And contractors who've worked on this thing have said on record that not only were bribes being paid left and right, these folks are getting kickbacks left and right, but they're all commingling their money with Trump. All of them commingling their money, and they're paying all the contractors like Trump and everybody else in cash because it's corrupt as fuck. And they're playing with dirty money from arms sales, dope sales, and all this terrorist money, all this terrorist revenue, you know what I mean? This shit, all this money from shady spots, the sketchy revenue and blood money. That's what they're paying everybody with. So Trump, by proxy taking money from them cats, has broke the laws of doing business in foreign countries. You know what I mean? On top of being unethical as fuck and being connected with to the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, because that's what them cats are. You know, you can read this anywhere, man. That's why I want to do part 3, because I wanted to lay it all out on just how dirty and crooked Trump is, man. Because he's so desperate for this is just speculation on my part, I'll admit. I think he's just so desperate to be seen as that powerful rich guy, that winner, you know what I mean, that he's willing to do anything to prop up that image and to pump himself up and to keep himself in the conversation, you know what I mean, and keep of those rich guys. When people think of rich, regular folks think of rich, they think of Trump, you know what I mean, that he's willing to take money from anywhere to save his little delusional image of himself that he's built over these years, right? I think it's all psychological, and just like Freud said, I'm sure his mama had something to do with it. But like I said, here we go. And I'm putting some running quotes from writers now who's wrote about this, who's went to this project and wrote about this shit. Look here. Hold on a second. It says the building was removed from Trump Hotel Collections website in 2015, even though he still got signed contracts. And he still done business with them. In March 6, 2016, the Trump organization stated that due to developer falling behind on certain construction milestones, the project is being currently held in abeyance and not being actively marketed. A fire occurred inside the building on August 11th of 2016, just a few months after Trump said they weren't trying to do anything with it or market it or open it, or you know what I mean? It's just basically they're just not in escrow, but in holding pattern. It's in limbo. Then mysteriously a fire Just a few months later. I wonder, that ain't shady. Mobsters ain't known to burn their property down to collect insurance and shit. You know what I'm saying? Coincidentally. But, let's see. Look, that Trump, oh my bad, and I'm going to be legit about Trump. Trump did according to Wikipedia now, I didn't read this in any article I read, that Trump illegally split, after Trump was elected U.S. President, the Trump organization ended its affiliation with the unopened project on November 30th, 2016, more than a year after construction was delayed. The decision was announced on December 15th, 2016. According to Alan Garten, chief legal officer for the Trump organization, he described it as house cleaning ahead of Trump's incoming presidential administration. House cleaning? Why would you have to have house cleaning if it was legitimate? You see what I'm saying, folks? Right. These folks either are too arrogant to try to do the shit in the shadows anymore, the shady shit, or they think they're too dumb to give a damn or realize it. Right. I said at the time, a project official said the building was 2/3 finished and that it would be open soon. A security guard at the tower believed the building would be ready by February 2017. But December 2016, a journalist, Adam Davidson, visited the property and later wrote, "From the road, it looks ready to welcome the public. Reaching the property is surprisingly difficult. There's tower stands amid a welter of on-ramps, and overpasses." I told you, it's like a maze of overpasses, they say. It's almost impossible to get actually to the building, which is nuts. Well, that's the last thing is any kind of businessman. The last thing you want is make it hard to get to your business. You see what I'm saying? Why would you intentionally make it hard? Especially when your brother's is overseeing building the highways there, and the other partner is the head of transportation. But they can't build roads to their building they got that they're in business with you. Now, what kind of fucking sense does that make? Come on, folks. It ain't rocket science here, man. Why would they make it so hard to get to a building? Especially if one of them builds highways and the other one is the transportation minister. But you see how just unbelievable that is? That no matter how inept of a businessman they are, that no businessman is that fucking stupid. You see what I mean? Come on now. It ain't hard, folks. Just think a little bit. And we'll get down to it. Like I say, oddly, Davidson also wrote, as being in an oddly and glamorous location, being miles away from main business district, surrounded by train tracks, a discount shopping center, and low-budget hotels. It said in March 2017, it was reported that the hotel's interior was nearly finished when the construction was stopped. And I'm thinking they stopped the construction because, as a favor to Trump, and Trump stopped this shit because he knows it was money laundering. He knows it's fucking illegal bullshit, man. Come on. Look, there's also the Memonoff family was described as having a reputation for corruption. Davidson, who spoke more than a dozen of the project's contractors, reported that some of them described behavior that seemed nakedly corrupt, unquote. Frank McDonald, who performed extensive work on the interior, said his firm always received payments in cash, millions of dollars at a time, just buckets of cash. You know, millions in cash, they just pay you. I'm talking about pallets of cash. Who does that? Right? What honest businessman does that shit? And that other contractors were paid the same way. He said, quote, they would give us a giant pile of cash. I got $180,000 one time, which fit into my laptop bag, and $200,000 another time, unquote. McDonald also recalled a time in which a colleague received a $2 million payment in cash. You know how much $2 million in cash is, even at $100 bills? That's, you see, who does that shit? Who lugs that much cash up to pay somebody, a contractor? Who don't write him a check? Come on now, folks. Let's see. Right. Here's what I was trying to find before I go on and finish Felix Saturday. We call this. I bet you I can't get nobody to listen to all three parts. But I'm just trying, like I said, I'm just trying to help you explain why I believe what I believe about Trump. And the evidence points to guilt. You know what I mean? Points to guilt. The open evidence that we can see right now that's publicly known. But here's what I was telling you about. Said in 2015, after his presidential bid, several news organizations reported on it with the Mammadov family. Garton said the Trump organization had initially commissioned a risk assessment of the project and did not discover, quote, any red flags relating to the Mammadov family, which is total bullshit. Like I said, they're known as the Corleones of the Caspian. They're famously corrupt, but they have connections with the Darvishi family of Iran. The Darvishis are associated with Iranian Revolutionary Guard, right, which the regularly have been accused by the use of government criminal activity and terrorist activity. And it said Garton, who was the legal officer representing the Trump organization, learned in 2015 that, quote, certain principles associated with the developer have had some association with problematic entities, unquote. Despite the associations, the Trump organization did not end its affiliation with the project and did not inquire about the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Right. So they didn't see no red flags, even though they were famously corrupt, known to be kicking with the Revolutionary Guard and the Darvishi family. Right, I think the Darvishi brothers was the dude who built the original highways. That cat, the Mammadov, the Zayi Mammadov, got loaded rich off of the first time. Like I said, because that was the front company for the Iranian Guard, man. Well, Garton said that, like I said they had association with problematic entities. But despite the associations, the Trump organization didn't end its affiliation. So they knew these cats was corrupt gangsters. They knew they were hooked up with terrorists. But yet Trump went ahead with it and stayed in business with these cats. You know what I mean? So don't hit me up with Trump's American, Trump's a patriot. Right there shows you ain't. Right? No American patriot would be anywhere close to cats associated or members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Come on, man. It just shows you Trump puts money over everything. Patriotism, his country, his family, everything. Let's see. Keep going. Let's get him. Get support. Trump said he didn't invest any money in the project, but he rarely invests his own money in anything. He's known for that. I read The Art of the Deal when I was younger, when I used to think Trump was cool when I was 12 and stupid. When I was 12 or something, I read The Art of the Deal, and that was his big deal, is talking to other people into putting their money up, conning folks. And him not really putting money up, but him putting a lot of money back. So Garton, the legal, like I said, the legal representative, legal officer for Trump, did not deny the corruption through the Mammadovs was involved in the project. So, see, even the legal officer didn't deny that corruption was happening with the project when it was asked. And it said, let me read all of it now. Garton did not deny the corruption through the Mammadovs was involved in the project, although Elton and Zayi Mammadov were Azerbaijani government employees at the time of Trump's involvement. Garton denied that the Trump organization may have broken the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, stating that the company did not own the project and not pay money to anyone involved with it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's Trump trying to skirt around what I was telling you about doing business in a foreign country with foreign entities. I couldn't remember with the Foreign Corruption Practices Act. That's how he got around it. Right? But did he really? Because they say they commingled money. Or that he took money that was directly from the Iranian Guard. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were trying to use the tower to wash the money. But Trump was basically taking blood money from the Iranian Guard. Or some of his money were coming from the Iranian Guard. 2017, a great U.S. Senator named Sherrod Brown said that a federal investigation of Trump's involvement with the project was warranted. And quote, the Trump organization's Baku project shows a lack of extreme vetting Mr. Trump applied to his own business dealings in corruption-plagued regimes around the globe. Congress and the Trump administration itself has a duty to examine whether the president or his family is exposed to terrorist finance and sanctions, money laundering, and other imprudent associations with their business holdings and connections, unquote. That's from Sherrod Brown, a U.S. Senator. A good one, too. Anyway, so see, but there's so much other dirt. Felix Sater and all that other money laundering shit and all this collusion shit that they can't even get to the Trump Tower Baku shit. That's how much dirt Trump has, my friends. So, as I'm shitting that, as I've told y'all before, anytime I'll invite any conservative friend I have to come on here and debate me about Trump, bring your facts, I bring mine, we throw down, we let the people decide. We'll put a poll up and let the people decide, because I'm telling you, man, y'all being willfully ignorant is so obvious, it's so open, it ain't like you can play dumb. Like Bush was at least the last one to try to kind of hide his corruption, and he wasn't, I thought he was corrupt. Compared to Trump, that dude was a fucking choir boy. We're not fucking altar boy. No shit, man. Look, it says later that month, Brown, along with Senators Dianne Feinstein and Ben Cardin, wrote a joint letter to the Trump administration requesting the Investigation Act to assess whether the Trump organization broke several laws during its dealings with the Mammadov family. Like I said, man, and that's just that. Now, to finish my case, and this will be, I promise you, there's no part 4, part 3. It's the trifecta. It's finito. It's done on this one. But we go back to Felix Sater and Trump Soho. All right. Oh, look, 4 days ago, new Felix Sater information. Felix Sater claims Trump organization pursued a deal with a sanctioned bank during the 2016 election. And if it's a sanctioned bank, it's probably a Russian sanctioned bank. Let's see. When he was trying to do a real estate deal with that Trump Tower, he was trying to build a tower in Moscow, and that shit folded. But he was trying to get funding from VTB Bank, which is currently under U.S. sanction. So that means it's against the law. See, like I told you, I didn't know Felix Sater said this. I just could tell by the way he conducted business that he had to be the middleman for Russia and Trump, the conduit between Russia and Trump. And he just says it right here in the quote on a television show just 4 days ago. I had a local developer there in Russia, and I had the Trump organization here in the U.S., and I was in the middle, so the middleman, like I said, and the local developer there would have gotten financing from VTB and another Russian bank. Right. Look, the deal didn't go through. They said this shit just come to light. They didn't even know this shit happened this week. And that's just a tenth. I'm talking about a minuscule of what Felix Sater knows. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's just the Trump Tower in Moscow. If he tried to get funded from a sanctioned bank, that's a violation of the Foreign Practices Act and the Magnitsky Act. If you don't know what the Magnitsky Act is, you need to go read up on it, because that's why that lawyer was here having a meeting with Donald Trump Jr. and Kushner, was over the Magnitsky Act, which is an act that sanctions all these billionaires and froze a bunch of their money, millions of dollars, at all these Russian companies and these officials because of this tax fraud scheme and of killing this tax lawyer called Magnitsky in Russia. Check it out, man. That's what I'm saying. Just go read up for yourselves. I'll throw the breadcrumbs down, my conservative chums. All you gotta do is just pick them up and go to the woods and look around, man. But like I said, Felix Sater also got him the money from Trump Soho. Let's go to Trump Soho, which is a flop, like most of Trump's shit. And it looks like his boy, his son-in-law, Mr. Solve Everything, who was going to fix all the problems in the world, Middle East peace and all this other crazy shit he's totally inexperienced and unqualified for. He's not too good at business either. Jared Kushner has been begging and pleading with foreign entities for $1 billion to keep him afloat on 666 Fifth Avenue in New York, the building he owns at Fifth Avenue, that just like Trump, that he's paid too much for. Trump's famous for paying too much. He overpaid and overextended himself and over-leveraged himself, just like Trump's famous for. So maybe that's why Ivanka married Kushner, is because he's just like her daddy. Maybe that creepiness goes both ways, you know what I'm saying? Because he seems to have the business acumen of Donald Trump. They have the same modus operandi for sure. Anyway, the Trump Soho was a $450 million, 46-story, 391-unit hotel condominium. Let's see, what's the cat that bankrolled it? He's like an arms dealer, man. He owned the company Bayrock. He started the company Bayrock. Sapir. His name is something Sapir. Let's see. Tamir Sapir. Now let's take a look. Tamir Sapir, he's from the Soviet Republic of Georgia, who made millions bartering fertilizer and oil with the Soviets. He took most of his money and put it in New York real estate. He's a billionaire barely. Let's see, I'm looking. Oh, he's dead though, man. Anyway, it was a shady Russian businessman who bankrolled all that shit. He was a Russian mobster, or alleged Russian mobster. Because all them dudes are Russian mobsters. Like I said, all of them are changeable. So there's my whole case for Donald Trump, that Mueller's got to have a shit ton on him. Because I've seen publicly him obstruct justice at least twice. Him try to collude at least twice. And that's just what I know publicly. I know he violated probably the Foreign Practices Act once or twice. He's laundered money hundreds of times with Russian mobs, knowing or knowingly allowed money laundering to happen through his businesses or properties, which is illegal as shit. Racketeering, I'm not a lawyer, but it's a shitload of federal crimes. I'm sure wire fraud and all that other shit you hear, that usually goes with gangster shit on a federal level. But that's what I'm saying. That's another reason why I never thought he'd get elected. So shit would catch up with him. But dude can keep so much shit stirring, man. You can't keep up. And it looks like he had a bunch of help from he gamed the system, the Electoral College, which was genius on their part. I'll give them that. Evil genius, but genius. They gamed the system, which it's still winning even if you game it. But I don't think it's fully legitimate just because he had help from a Russian entity, and they colluded with him, man, and told him where to focus their bots and disinformation. So that's my case. Like I said, when I get my shit going again, of course I'm gonna start doing. Like I said, I lost a bunch of my podcasts, like from when we were doing all the podcasts I done with the actors for the movie The Grace of Jake when we were making the movie, but a lot of them I've uploaded on my YouTube channel that I got saved. I managed to save on my YouTube channel, Byron A. Lloyd, like the one where I got stuck in the podcast about me getting stuck in the nut house that everybody loves, thinks it's hilarious, loves it. That was on a bunch of other stuff, but I lost a bunch of interviews with Hickey and some other stuff, but I got some older stuff, a few of them here on Spreaker. If you still want to listen to those, I got me and Maggie Webster, who's what is she? She's a case investigator for pro-death cases, for death cases. I mean, capital punishment cases in Louisiana. She's an investigator, a legal investigator that goes at, I forget what they call it, what she call it. Anyway, she's some type of legal investigator. She went to law school. She's an investigator who investigates the situation of somebody who's been convicted of a crime that got them the death penalty in Louisiana. Pretty interesting, man. She answered a lot of questions about capital punishment. God knows I've done more capital punishment podcasts and more. There's too many fucking guns in this country. Too easy to get fucking, not too many. There's too many too, but too easy to get fucking guns in this country podcast. And I'm sick of folks getting killed podcasts by guns. I've done way too many of those, man. I could be doing those till I'm dead, it looks like. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to use common sense. You know what I'm saying? Because more guns make it more dangerous. It's just common sense to stats prove it. More guns don't make you safer. It makes you more likely to get killed by guns, dumb. But anyway, that's for my gun nut buddies out there. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I made my case. 3 parts. I laid down an hour and a half, fucking 2 hours of podcast. So I should be able to get away for at least a month before I make another podcast with this new software from the new podcast studio and all that other shite. So I laid it down. There's my case. I'm calling all challengers. Anybody who wants to step up to the plate and battle, we can do it straight right up here live. I won't even record the episode. We'll do it live, stream it, and let the people decide. But that's why Trump is done, man. Done. Wake up, folks. Wake up. I hate to be the guy that rings the bell, but wake up. You know what I mean? The jig is up, yo. And I'm out of here. This your boy, Roddy Roan, on the microphone. 95,000 G.